What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Blade Dragons podcast. I'm Alex,
And I'm Elliot.
and we are the Blade Dragons. And today, we're going back to the regularly scheduled Thursday anime episode review. We got episode 9. We really hope that you guys liked the last video that we uploaded yesterday, which, if you have not seen that, go check it out. We interviewed Julian from NOOZLE 3D, who has been sponsoring a lot of Baytubers who have been doing Beyblade X content, including us too. And we talked to him about his products, his methods, and a bunch of other stuff. So be sure to go check that out if you haven't already. And now we are going to get into today's anime episode, which was a little bit better than last time. I enjoyed it, and definitely excited to get started with talking about what we got for this one.
This episode was a lot better. It was more tame. That they came across doing less, but it did more. It was a very tame episode, but I really enjoyed the process that they went through, that they depicted. It just had good vibes to the whole episode. So improvement for being a informational episode.
Definitely. It seems like a lot of the episodes that aren't like spotlight episodes or like, it's something that wouldn't be interesting, those are always like the best ones that we've seen so far. It's kind of funny how that works. So, of course, we're going to get into what we've got on the dock today, and we actually have quite a few things to talk about, which is pretty different from the past few episodes. It's very sort of cut and dry, but there was a lot that we noticed in this one, so we are definitely excited to get started with that, starting with the return of Taisho's sushi headpiece. So we have got some more faces for Taisho's sushi. Here, Taisho is pretty concerned. I believe this is when Bird was talking about not knowing what the Bay Battle Pass was, and Taisho's just like, oh, that's not good. And his sushi is also concerned, too.
It was funny. Bird was like, "Oh, I just got a battle pass because everyone else had one or whatever." And Malty was like, "You didn't turn it on or something." He's like, "I just thought everyone else was using it, so I threw one on my launcher too." So I found that very funny because I even told you we were watching the anime and Bird's like, "Battle pass," and I'm like, "He has one, doesn't he?" And
Yeah.
yeah, he does. So
He's had one, and he has just never used it, which, interesting take. But, hey, Bird is a beginner, so, at least it's okay for him to suck being a noob. And then we, now, so we mentioned this before. I gotta move Elliot's cam so we can see this. Um, Taisho is a very small man, and he's got a normal size sushi bar, and we were wondering, is the floor, like, just super high up for him behind the counter, or is it or is he on like a stool? And Elliot grabbed a screenshot. It is a stool. So Taisho is just standing on a massive step stool. Does that move? I wonder if it's just blocking cabinets.
Oh yeah, it's probably portable because I'm sure other people go behind there like Maiden to make food. So oh no, it's really funny. It's like, oh, that's almost as high as the countertops.
It's oh man, Taisho is tiny Taisho. He's the little man, but
MVP.
and then we got another lovely screenshot. I gotta move my camera for this one. And Taisho here is also concerned, and we can see that so this was after Malty kicked them all out because she was working on Bird's new Beyblade, and they were being loud. And then, so she kicks everyone out, and Taisho, his sushi was also a little sad. I find that so cute. Hold on, can we? Oh my gosh, why does it only zoom in towards Maiden?
Because it
There
knows
we
what you want
go.
to see.
I mean, we like Maiden here, but we're spotlighting the sushi, and we love the sushi too. It's so funny.
I hope it gets a name. It's probably just like an Easter egg, but I really hope it gets a name.
You know what? If they don't name it, we're gonna make this part of the Chompy religion for Beyblade X. So as the ordained pastor by the Mim Sky, we are going to hereby name Taish. Actually, what should we name it? It's a good question.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do a community tab and see what you guys have some ideas about it. But
Definitely.
we will be coming up with a name for the sushi if within the next, I don't know, by the end of the year, if it's not canon, we are going to make up a name for it. So leave us in comments or tell us what you guys want the sushi to be called, because he is literally a bigger character than Bird is at this point.
Pretty much. We're more invested in what face the sushi on Taisho's head is making than what Bird's arc is. It's funny. All right, we're gonna consult Mim Sky and we're gonna get some answers. We're gonna name him. So stay tuned for that. So next up, after the legendary Taisho sushi, we have got, of course, our regularly scheduled talking about Bird's ridiculous faces that he makes. And so this is in response to Multi getting pissed at him for not knowing what the Bay Battle Pass was. And he's just like, this is when Mom finds the poop sock.
Yeah, Bird's just we comment. You'll see this episode is just so out of pocket with most of the things that happen.
It is. It's like it goes from one shot to another shot, and then you just get something you did not expect to see at all. This episode kept us on our toes the whole time. It was great. And then we got this one where Bird is asked by the shop. Was it like one of the shop runners or owners to...
Yeah, the cafe owner, yeah.
He wanted to have Bird sign something, and then Bird is just like freaking out as usual. It wouldn't be a Beyblade X episode without Bird freaking out over something so tiny and minuscule. So it's like he's ready to sign something, but then he's just like, oh no, how do I sign it? How do I pick up a pen? What is a sign? I don't know what this...
It was funny, he had a coherent thought in conversation, and then literally there he was like, oh wait, I have anxiety. How do I do this?
Oh my goodness.
He was like, yeah, I can do this for you. You guys are actually, you want me to sign something? Yeah, here you go. Oh god, now what do? I haven't made it this far yet.
Oh jeez. Bird is just unprepared for the pro life.
For just any real world interactions.
Yep. The ultimate social anxiety. And then here we got Bird. He fell asleep while Kamen was talking to him, but he looks like he's about to like go Super Saiyan. And he's just sitting here like,
Bird Slender Man.
It's Bender Man. Although that
I think that's its own
that
thing.
didn't land well. Moving on. So next up, they showed us something that I thought was interesting, worth making a little mention of, which of course was the analytic readouts. Now, these have been something for the entirety of Beyblade. There's always that like AI or computer that a character will have, and for this show, it seems Multi and Maiden kind of take up the reins of being like the analytical duo, which is really nice. And we got to see some readouts. Now, we did see some before the Team Zuganic battle, where they showed us like the models of all of their Beys, which we mentioned. Shido power. I just noticed that.
I read that too. I was like, well, that's a word.
That's nice. At least Elliot's cam is censoring it for us, so that works. But we get some nice little readouts here. And we can see Kamen and the stance. We can see Drawn Sword in the corner under Elliot's cam over there, which is looking really cool. Then just a bunch of random readouts over here, which is nice. And it's interesting that they have like full body specs too, because you wouldn't expect like the launcher to do that. So that's definitely something that's...
Well, it makes sense because you need to account for the attack type shoes that he is wearing.
You know what? That's right. I forgot that part of Kamen's outfit is his aggressive styled attack type shoes. That's right. My bad. I forgot about that. So
Those are like 10 power points for him.
it's like when you put stickers on a car, they add like 5 horsepower per sticker.
Yeah.
Oh man! So there we go. We got our little readouts, which look pretty nice. I kind of like the blue-green aesthetic on it. And of course, this episode mentions the Bay Battle Pass for the first time. They've been in the show for the entirety so far, and now we're mentioning them, which is honestly a little bit late in the game, I would say, compared to, I don't know how it was in Burst or Bakken. I don't think they really did the point system in Bakken
No, they didn't.
in the anime.
No, Metal Fate was the last time they did anything like that, because Burst, they did more competitions, like you needed to have a certain launch power or do something stupid to qualify, but Bakutenshu, no, and then Metal Fight had points for a bit, but then I guess they're bringing it back now in the canon storyline.
Yeah. So they haven't really done much with like the tracker accessory that tracks like stats or points per battle. Metal Fight, that was a huge deal in the first season, which was actually a major plot point for Metal Fusion when they had to get 50k for Battle Bladers. And then you had the whole arc with, there was a whole episode dedicated to Jinga losing his Bay Pointer. I just remembered that. Oh, what an episode. But anyways, so we're getting mention now of the Bay Battle Pass, which is pretty cool. It's always nice when they mention like the peripherals that they use. I remember I really wanted like an angle compass and a Bay Pointer in Metal Fusion. They did a good job selling those, and then they never really pushed that again after Metal Fusion. Metal Masters didn't really talk about any of the accessories that they use, but here it's nice to see that. So we get mention of the Bay Battle Pass, and of course we got Miss Multi here, who is holding it up, showing Bird, exactly just like Elliot there. And you can see she doesn't look pretty happy, which of course ties into this, which she goes evil mode. And this is, of course, after Bird tells her that, he has never used it, never turned it on, and just got it because everyone else was using it, but he didn't know what it was, and didn't do probably the minimal amount of research that you could do, just like open his phone and be like, oh, what does Bay Battle Pass do? Oh, okay, let me turn it on, and, Bird be Bird.
It's funny with Malty's headband that the horns fit so many different characters that she plays, whether she's mad or intimidating. It's just like, oh, now she looks like a demon.
She's like the imp emoji.
So, I don't know.
She's like the little purple devil emoji, where it's got like the frowning one and the smiling one, and it works in both.
Yeah.
Multi is the IRL, or I guess the in-universe IRL version of the imp emoji. That's funny. And then, of course, she yells at Bird. And this is one of 2 times in this episode alone where we get, I move my cam, we get small character down here, and then Multi is just massive. And of course, this is just, emotional representation. You see this in all kinds of anime. And it's interesting that it's always Multi who is, like, featured as the giant over-emotional one, which is interesting. So we get that, which is pretty funny. And then, of course, here, Multi is just losing it, and Bird is, like, freaking out, and Taisho's just like, okay, it's fine, we're gonna chill out here, and we're gonna talk about it.
It's funny when Bird turns into a punching bag again for them. Like, the room goes silent, and it pans out, and everyone's just staring at Bird, and Bird's like, I'm a professional blader, but I don't know what's going on. And he just gets beat up once again. I think that's like 5 out of 9 episodes.
It's so frequent that they just crap on Bird. But I guess it is what it is for the anime, so at least here they weren't crapping on his skill as a blader like they were before. They've done that, and
they did say it would take 10 years for him to get strong enough with Health Sight at that point.
They did, but I mean that plays into what we see later on. So it was pretty nice to see that, and that's pretty much it for the Bay Battle Pass. Now it's interesting that they didn't do the point system with the Bay Battle Pass, because I think that's a thing in the real app. And there's also like the spin power meter and whatnot, but then they don't have the they don't feature like points, which is kind of interesting because that's always been a thing. There's always been a way to track your player rank in every gen in real life, even though it wasn't in the anime. There was a Bay pointer for Bakuden Shoot, which Elliot showed off in his latest video as of recording. And then there was, of course, the Metal Fight Bay pointer, which Elliot also has in that video, which we'll probably throw that link down below. It's a really good video. And then there was the Bay Logger, which Elliot also has. And that was the burst one. And they didn't feature that in the show, but that was a thing in real life. And they used an auxiliary cord on that one, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't do any research into that, but I remember that's what they ended up saying, because that was made in 2016, 2015 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So I guess it makes sense that the early rendition of the app, but it's something. It's a cool thing. But I'm sure that they're going to elaborate more into what the Battle Pass is, because they really only demonstrated it or even brought it up just to get Bird's new Bay made. And we did do subtitles again, so we kind of get a little gist, and it said, oh, are you just going to use what I did yesterday? That they like just did some practice battles off camera or something to get some data for his new Beyblade. So I'd assume that I don't know, because I'd like to see like tournaments that like unpredictable battles eventually that are like in bursts. They like did different cruise ships and everything, or battles on different islands. It's like, oh well, we'll go and do a different format for a tournament. So hopefully they end up doing something extra that you need to use the Bay Battle Pass and get that to qualify.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, they pretty much did that in like every generation thus far. Although I think first season 1 they didn't really do like, did they do like different like rule set tournaments, or was it always like either in like the school or the backyard or the arena?
I think it was mainly in like the arenas, but I know that I want to recall towards the end, or it was the beginning of season 2, that they had like the first ripcord challenge that they had to get like 5,000 launch power on their machines there to qualify for the finals or preliminaries. So they did something like that early on. I remember that.
Interesting. It'd be cool to see that in what do you call it? In X, where we get like different styles of battles, like a knockout battle would be fun. I did that on my channel. Or, a challenge. But we are going to see the challenge later. I just remembered that there was the 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But, is that really a challenge?
I don't know, because I know Metal Fight, they had a lot of, like, they had a Battle Royale, they had a couple, like, 3-4 person battles.
They did the survival battle.
Yeah, that was the other one I was looking for.
And then there was the Team Garcia battle. There was like the Bayster Island battle. Like they did so much with Metal Fight, and then they also did a lot with Bakuden Shoot as well. But I think Bakuden Shoot also has the most interesting stadiums, because they did like all kinds of crazy stuff. They had like a White House stadium. They had like a highway.
They literally recreated the Wall of China.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's insane.
And then they went to the Wall of China in Metal Fight, and they battled on there. Masamune almost got his butt kicked. No, he lost, but Zhao Xin almost lost. Metal Fight people know if they watched that. But yeah, so we're gonna get into the. But our point for that is, we want to see we'd love to see some more like battle variations. and we see like different kinds of tournaments and like casual battles and stuff like that would be really nice. So we're gonna scoot right into our next topic, which is the 3D printing aspect of Beyblade X, which this is something that I think is really cool of them to do. And I think we mentioned that 3D printing was a thing last episode. And it's really, really cool to see that, because 3D printing is becoming a more prominent thing in the IRL Beyblade scene. We had our entire interview yesterday with NOOZLE 3D, and we've got tons of videos available with his products. And then there's also creators like Benchblade and Crazy Aries, and one of our fans, King Hurla, is also doing some awesome 3D printing projects, and you got like a ton of other people doing it too. So it's really cool to see them incorporate that aspect of IRL Beyblade, whether they're conscious of it or not, into the main Beyblade media.
It's fun to see because we brought up with Julian in our interview that other people are doing it, but he says everyone has their own take on what they want to print and how they go about it. So there's a lot of creativity in the scene that allows for diversity in the results. Whether that's, we talked about different materials, different cuts for the prints for durability, and just a bunch of things that go into actual 3D printing. And the way that they showed it in the anime here was okay. They literally didn't show any creation. Malty was just in the zone, and then it was pretty much over. So I'd assume this is definitely, well, we skimmed the manga. This is definitely not going to be the last time we see 3D printers. So hopefully that they go into a little more detail on how everything actually works going forward, because at this point, typed on a keyboard it did like time lapse, so it could have been like 8 to 10 hours or whatever, but what she actually did, we don't know. She just put the battle pass in there, and it scanned Bird's data, and apparently she had to do something, even though she said the battle pass was going to do like majority of the work.
Yeah, maybe she had to do like some coding or something, because you have to have like qualifications to be a Bay crafter. That was another thing they mentioned. I think Maiden said that she wasn't one, which was
yeah, because Malty literally just is like, oh, I'm gonna make you a new Bay, and then the truck's here, the machine's here, and Maiden's like, excuse me, I needed to go to a vocational school to even get this, and I had to be certified and take classes on it. And then Malty is just like, I got an ID, and we're like, okay, so she does have education. She's not just a social media person. So there's a nice little tidbit on Malty that apparently she did go to school at one point, and she did learn how to actually use something for Beyblade. So that's pretty neat.
She went to Beyblade school. I guess that's the only kind of school they have in Beyblade X Universe, because it's funny, throughout the majority of all of Beyblade anime and manga, they like never talk about school, except for V-Force, because they mentioned Taisa was in 8th grade, and that's how Hillary was part of the plot, at least in the anime. But other than that, there's never been like school. Was there in Burst? I don't think there was.
Well, yeah,
wait, they did have...
not class wise, but there was it was more of like an academy, and I guess not like it was like a, not even boarding school. It was just like public school for Beyblades, which it's kind of weird that they do that. It's like, how do you make Beybread if you don't go to school to learn Beybread? So it's like you literally just don't teach anybody anything, and they just go on there with their life because they have a Beyblade in their pocket.
I guess that's like the equivalent of a driver's license. As long as you have a Bay logger or Bay pointer or Bay battle pass and a Beyblade, then you're good to go. Imagine like pulling up to, like, you're speeding down the highway, and the officer pulls you over and he's like, "Can I see your license and registration?" Just hold up your Bay battle pass. And he's like, "All right, you're good to go."
puts it in his scanner. It just gets your biometrics, like your heart rate and blood alcohol, and you just leave.
Oh my god, that'd be insane. Imagine, like, what if they did that? Because you've got like Fitbits and whatnot to like track your stuff. So imagine if they you could hook that up to your Bay Battle Pass, and then the officer just shows up and scans it, and it has like your ID and everything like saved in it, and then it also reads out your vitals from your. Oh my gosh, Elon, whoever is in charge of like making this kind of stuff in our universe, take notes.
Elon owns Hasbro, dude.
Oh yeah, that's true. We gaslighted Elon Musk into buying Hasbro, so now we're in control of Beyblade X. We're gonna have to have so many links for
Yes.
in the description for context now.
If you guys aren't following us on our own personal pages, like, how'd you even find this podcast, in all honesty? But we appreciate all of you guys.
Absolutely. Whether you find the podcast through watching one of our videos on our personal channels, or you just stumble across an episode of Blade Dragons, be sure to go and check us out because we do a lot of stuff on our own channels, and we also cross over sometimes, which is a lot of fun. So we'll leave the links for all like our context stuff that we talk about in the description. But yeah, if you're not subscribed to us, what are you doing? Do it now.
Nah, 'cause we live stream, and we have good times in our live streams, whether that's complete nonsense or very good conversation or battles. So we cover a big spectrum on our channels. So if you just like to have a good time and talk about Beyblades, or just watch some top spin aimlessly, not much better place to go than either one of our channels.
Pretty much. So we're gonna leave those links in the description. Go check them out. Oh, excuse me. And we move on. Let's see. So we also got Bay. Oh yeah, we were touching on that Baycrafter Multi, of course, who is our little, I guess multi-skilled little champ. And you got a nice little ditzy picture, cute thing of Multi doing the anime face thing. And then we got this somewhat menacing picture of her in her Baycrafter scientist outfit, which is really fun. So it's interesting how like many different outfits she has, and I don't even think we've seen all of them. She didn't do the Night Lance outfit because that one's a bit different than her Night Shield outfit. They showed that in the manga, but I don't think it was in the anime. So she has like her standard outfit, Wizard Arrow, and Night Shield and Night Lance, and then she has her Professor outfit, and then she has her Baycrafter outfit. So that's six. That's six outfits that she's got so far. Oh my goodness. Wow. Pretty crazy, but pretty nice to see that. So, and then one thing that we had already talked about is how the 3D printer scans the Bay Battle Pass and uses that to read your stats and build your Beyblade, which is pretty cool. So a lot of the episode was spent doing that, which was excellent. Let's see. So next up, there were some interesting Beyblades that we saw in a slide with Maiden, where she was talking about the qualifications for becoming a Baycrafter, like we mentioned earlier, and they showed some very interesting Beyblades that we wanted to take a look at. We noticed. Oh, my cam's blocking. Let's go. All right, so we've got a Shark Edge, and it looks like 360 low flat, so a stock Shark Edge with recolor. And then we got Strike Hawk combo here with the brown 480 and low flat, and the little Strike Hawk. And then we got a Wizard Arrow, which looks like it's on 480 ball, and it's got like a recolor. We believe that this is the watermelon one from Multi's Big Bay case.
And that Shark Edge there in the credits, the outro, I think that one might make an appearance next episode, that it might be on Team Chompy, or whatever that dude's name is. I recall seeing that Beyblade in the next episode, so we should see it return, unless for some reason they changed the combination or whatever. But yeah, that's what Maiden there was talking about, all the verifications or credentials. She's like, these are all the papers and the blades that you need to learn about and everything. And it's like, Maiden was really like, I'm like a 25 year old lady, and I can't get certified, and Multi's 13 and she's already graduated.
I guess she's just a prodigy. She's like a hero for Big Hero 6, graduating high school at age 14. Ridiculous. Wait a minute, isn't Multi 14?
Oh yeah, I remember Nook said that there were some ages leaked. I don't think he said they were canon, or maybe it was an age for one or two characters came out and they were 13, 14s or something.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the, it was in the news channel. Yeah, Multi's 14. Yeah, you kind of see it here in Elliot's cam. Multi is 13, Bird is 14, which is pretty interesting. Um, yeah, so I mean, hey, Multi is just a hero from Big Hero 6 in Beyblade. That's pretty cool. I mean, she can even build her own Beyblades, too. But yeah, it's interesting to see those different parts and whatnot shown. And it's a little more interesting than previous gens where they just kind of showed, like, blurred or, like, poorly drawn random Beyblade tops. And it's like, now we got, like, you can make these, maybe not the exact colors, but you could, like, make these and battle them, and it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. So next up we got another favorite that we love to see here, which is of course the collaboration of Taisho and, oh my god, another sushi face, and it's happy.
Mm-hmm.
I almost missed that. We got Common and Taisho collaborating. I believe this is like blueberry lychee. I want to say they said. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. But if it is blueberry lychee sushi, I want some so bad. Lychee is delicious. There's an Asian store that I used to go to a lot, and my friend used to have them at his house. It was like these big tubs, and they had like these little containers of lychee jelly with coconut chunks in it. Oh, they were the best things ever. I was addicted to those for a few years. I'm gonna have to go and buy some again. Those things are so delicious, but it's we love seeing the Taisho Common collabs, and we got Common.
I get so happy over food.
And then this the context for this shot was towards the end of the episode. Common wanted to battle and he wanted to train, and Bird fell asleep, and then he was like, "Oh, Bird's asleep. Oh, Multi!" But then Multi was asleep, and then Taisho comes around. And he's like, "Hey, man, let's make some sushi." And then Common got so excited to make sushi. I love that. It's like, even when he can't Beyblade, Common's got other hobbies. It's so fun. And I love that. Common is such a wholesome character. And then of course they mentioned the blueberry sushi there, which is awesome.
They said it's good for eyesight, that it could rest her eyes or help her eyes.
And we got another
strain.
Taisho sushi face.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. So there for this episode. I think that's a new record. Incredible. Oh, I love that so much. That's a fun detail that they added. Oh, it never gets old. And then, so this episode had a massive focus on the dynamic between Multi and Bird. Now, everyone sort of trashed on Bird in the past, but this episode there was a lot of like relationship development between Bird and Multi, which was kind of interesting to see. And of course, we're not going to go into any of the more unsavory topics that some people like to go over with Bird and Multi. So we're not going to, discuss those because we're mature here, and we like to, we don't want to get in trouble.
Keep it classy.
Yep, got to stay classy. Exactly. So here we got a little screenshot of Multi going up and pinching Bird's cheeks. For some reason, I don't know if this was her like patronizing him, or something. It probably was, but this is kind of a funny screenshot here. And
For some reason, I think Bird looks like a frog.
I see it too. He kind of does.
I saw them like Frog Boy.
It's Frog Bird. Oh my goodness. He's gonna grow flippers and bounce away one day. Imagine that's like the character for like season 5. They just change main characters like Bursted, and then they have Frog.
Frog, bird, rhino.
Oh, that'd be so funny. We just go down the Animal Kingdom. And then we got a little thing here. We got another funny bird face. So I think Bird had brought some food for Multi. And then Multi finished working on Hell's Scythe or Chain. And she comes and sits down and talks with Bird a bit. I don't think there was too much meaningful said. I think she complimented him on his cooking, is what it seemed like.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I forget. He says like, yeah, I want to use my hands more or eat with one hand or something. So I started making sushi and then Malty's like, wow, well, you're you're strangely skillful when it comes to things. And he's like, yeah. So he made her a couple. Was that first meal for him? I think, and then he made her sushi when she was working on the Beyblade.
Yeah, so it was a pretty nice thing for Bird to do, to go over and give his friend some food while she's working hard for him. That's what friends are for. So it was cute to see that. And then of course here we've got Multi just absolutely just like, oh, Bird, what are you doing? I think this was
Can't forget the subtitles there.
Yep. And Bird here, I have a breeder aiming for the E tower. I don't know what kind of like offside threat that is.
We did find out the E tower is the X tower, but I think breeder is also blader. I'm a blader aiming for the X tower, but the auto subs sometimes do that stupid things and just makes us laugh.
Oh, we love the auto subs. But it was pretty funny to. It's always a great time when auto subs just create the lore for us.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's one more I missed. Oh, we got another. Bird is in distress here, for some reason. I think this was when they mentioned the This was the what do you call it? It was the when they said that they were going to the exhibition promo match at the cafe, and I don't think that was in the manga, so it was a filler episode.
Oh, this is when they said marketing. They brought up marketing, and Bird was like, I don't know anything about marketing. And I think they said marketing will kill you or something, like deadly marketing, something like that. And Bird's like, no, I gotta learn more stuff.
Yeah, Bird is just, this is what happens when you come into the Beyblade world and you don't know anything. Which, if you want to get into Beyblade, Elliot and I both have some videos on that. We can teach you guys everything you need to know. So check those out too. Exactly, gotta go do that training, gotta work them biceps. Hit the gym.
Gotta hit the bird squat.
Yep, we gotta hit the bird squats from episode 2, as per usual. But yeah, it was birds' faces. At the when season 1 ends, we're gonna have a compilation, and we're gonna go over and rank like all of the different faces Bird makes throughout the entirety of it.
We got a lot of faces to rank.
We got to do Common, and then we got to do Bird,
Taisho,
and then
Sushi.
Taisho, Sushi, Headpiece. And that's on top of ranking the actual Beyblades themselves.
Those aren't important anymore. We got sushi to talk about.
Exactly. We got sentient headpieces to talk about. That's always way more important.
We got our priorities in check.
Exactly. Always got to make sure we keep those on top. Next up, we've got the exhibition promo battle, which is Hell's Chain versus Hell's Scythe, and then the outcome of the match, and then some funny Common X nonsense that happened. So the biggest plot point of this episode was the fact that there was an exhibition promo for Team Persona that they did at the local cafe. And this is the cafe that we saw, I believe, in episode 3. It was like 2 or 3, I think. It was where they trained Bird for that. They did that one battle of, I think, Night Shield versus Hell Scythe. And They come back here, and the stadium's there and everything, which is cool. And it's interesting that they actually populated it, which is kind of neat. So for once, the episode doesn't feel like no one exists in the Beyblade X world. They've got like a fair amount of people there, which is pretty cool. And honestly, that's a massive cafe. Like,
Yeah, it's like 20-foot tall ceilings.
I don't know what it is with Japanese cafes, but like we don't have anything like that in the U.S. It's all like cozy, which is nice in some cases. But then you go to like fast food cafes and it's hectic. But
Mm-hmm.
that's neither here nor there. So we get Multi using Hell's Scythe, which I don't think is in the manga. I think this entire episode was anime original, which is cool. And we can see Multi looking happy there. She's going to use Hell's Scythe. And then we get Hell's Chain, which is the Beyblade that was 3D printed. And that's what Multi was working on. So it's interesting to see that, of course. And definitely nice that Bird and Common have other Beyblades. I remember back in our like early episodes, we wondered if Bird and Common were going to also use multiple Beyblades. And with the release of the Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain deck sets, and in the manga, it is confirmed that Drawn Dagger and Hell's Chain are going to be secondary Beyblades, or parts of Bird and Common's own decks, which is really cool to see. It's funny that like Multi is more advanced with Beyblade X and like in the know than they are, especially for Common, who is like a pro, but maybe he's like one Bay wonder, something like that.
Sounds about right, because I don't know, up until this point we thought that they were their staples, and we didn't really expect them to have a... Oh gosh, do you think Chrome Ryuga is going to get a deck set?
Maybe we'll see
I think we're going to get 3 Cobalt Drakes. We're going to get Cobalt, Ruby, and Emerald Drakes.
It just becomes Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty interesting. I wonder if everyone will have a deck set, because so far, it's not really like that. I know the deck set format is very popular for competitive Beyblade X right now, but that's not something that they've necessarily done blader to blader in the anime. Whereas like you could correlate in previous gens, it's like each team has X amount of bladers, and each of them have one Beyblade, and the teams face off, and you can equivalate that to 2 people with multiple Beyblades in their deck facing off in real life. And in Beyblade X, it's muddied a little bit for the first time, where you have people like Multi who have multiple Beyblades, but then they're also on a team, and they have not done the any of the like rule sets that we had in real life established by Takara Tomy. So it's kind of interesting to see that happen now.
It's something that I hope they don't just start throwing new deck set Beyblades out because they don't want to introduce any new characters, that they just complicate the series with having, I don't know, there's probably going to be like 10 main characters. Like, I'd assume Zuganic's going to be one of the bigger teams out there that we're going to stay up to date with. And then probably the man's team, if he's on a team with Wyvern. And is he on? I guess we don't know if he's on the team with Phoenix yet.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't just start making, because if there's that many people right there, there's like 30 bays. I don't know. It could be a lot, but I just hope that it stays nice and manageable.
Yeah, we'll definitely see going down, but it's interesting how before it's like each Beyblade was indicative of one character, and now we've got characters with multiple Beyblades, so it's like, are we going to see a decrease in like character variation in the show with that, or are we still going to see a fair amount of characters throughout? and then we just get a lot of Beyblade products. Definitely interesting considering that the anime is following the first system for X, which we have never seen that before. So definitely curious for what the turnout is going to be like, but definitely excited.
Slowly but surely getting questions answered. That I know the first 2 episodes we were literally just like throwing stuff out there, and we've gotten a few more answers. Still some stuff is up in the air, but we're getting there slowly.
Yep, it's always nice to have those questions answered, and then it's also fun throwing out our new questions that come up with the anime as it progresses, which is always very cool. It's why we love this podcast. So of course we get the actual battle part, which is a lot of fun. Now we get Multi using Hell's Scythe and Bird with Hell's Chain. And one thing that's really cool is they really emphasize the duality of Hell's Chain and why it's better for Bird. So you've got these rounder parts here on the Hell's Chain blade, which are for defense. And then if we skip here, we can see that the chain parts right here, the vertical chain parts, those are more for attack. And they make sure to mention that in the anime, which is really cool. I love that they're actually showing us real attributes of the Beyblades, because I don't think they've really done that until now. I mean, they kind of did before with I think with Landclaw when they mentioned Point, and then also Viper Tail, they did a little bit with its strategy. But this is the first time we're seeing this blade is designed for this purpose. So that's very cool to see.
And they actually went over more on Hell's Scythe, because we hadn't gotten any details on Hell's Scythe either. And the subtitles came up and said that the grooves or the teeth on the layer for Hell's Scythe was more relatable to mosquito bites, because there's so many points of contact there that it's an aggressive attack that it's hard to control, and vice versa, whatever they ended up saying. But this episode we did get some more details in what separates Hell's Chain and Hell's Scythe, which is pretty cool. I don't recall us getting any lore between Night Shield and Night Lance for the first time we saw it. It just kind of happened. So I'd assume, just like everything, they're laying the foundation to hopefully give us more details. It seems like they would do that, because a lot of things they like to explain why it's happening or how it happened. So we'll have to wait and see and get the lore, anime canon lore for what these Beyblades are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's also nice because it for down the line when people see this and they don't have the product set like we do, it's like that will give them an insight to the design of the products as well. It's like, oh, so Hell's Chain has this feature on it, whereas Hell's Scythe has this feature on it. That's the difference between the two. So that's really nice to see. I think that's definitely going to play out well for all of the kiddies in the States who have questionable levels of education and intuition nowadays. But it's awesome to see the variations there in the products. And then, of course, we get some nice shots of Hell's Scythe and Hell's Chain battling it out. We get some really cool sparking effects, and then they also have they kept the lines. I always wondered why they did that in Burst and X. I guess it makes sense in X because the stadiums have the 4X feature, kind of. So it's I can see why they would have those the lines that follow the performance tip. But pretty cool to see a lot of clashing, and you can definitely see the bulkier Hell's Chain on this side here, and you can see the high taper and 560 and versus basic Hell's Scythe, who I believe is still meta in the IRL Beyblade scene. So that's always a lot of fun. And then
for some reason, I think that the Hell's Chain Hell's Scythe battle was probably one of my favorite battles, because for some reason they didn't put any pressure in that battle, and it wasn't predictable because there wasn't any pressure. That we couldn't tell. No one went for extreme dashes to win the tournament. It was just a competition to see which Beyblade was better and how they actually worked. That the vibe was way different in this entire episode. That there wasn't really any stakes. That we were just vibing out, making new Beyblades, seeing how they worked, and I just enjoyed the laid back aspect to this because it seems like it's either all or nothing, that they hit the same notes in battles. It's like bam, 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 but then they can vary it and bring it back down, and it's something that we haven't gotten yet. A more tame episode that we also get battles in, which I enjoyed that in this episode.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see the filler episode battles because we don't see those in the manga, and even when we do see the manga battles, I think it's our complaints, because we complained a lot in the previous anime review where we kind of just ragged on how there was like no stakes and unpredictable things. And yes, we do read the manga, but I think it's also the fault of the manga for not really making it that interesting, just the story in general. And it's why we're so harsh on it last time. But it was definitely refreshing this time to see that there were, even when the stakes were just low, there were no stakes really. It was just kind of a friendly competition. It was interesting and it was engaging. And then, we didn't feel like, oh, that was easy to predict. And Bird did lose, but at the same time, it was a good battle. And for a second there, we weren't sure what was going to happen. I was thinking he might use the extreme line when he sped up towards the end there to go for that final attack.
I mean, that's every other time they've just gone for the extreme line when they're out of stamina. Somehow that works. But it was cool that we had the theory that we didn't want to see just Bird get a new Beyblade and win. So that was our theory. So we were up in the air on who was actually going to win that battle. And I'm glad that they kept true. Well, obviously we wanted to see Bird win, but I'm sure his first win is actually going to have meaning. So I guess they're still building the suspense to see if Bird can even Beyblade.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be our stakes, which hopefully maybe in the next episode possibly we'll see what happens with that. But I'm a little unsure on how the next episode is going to play out, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I will also touch more on why Bird's loss wasn't too bad this time, but we also got a little interesting thing here with the cafe tournament or battle. You had these two gentlemen here who were kind of making fun of Bird at the beginning. It's like, oh, he sucks. He's called Big Mouth Bird, so I guess that comes back to bite him in the butt from the other episode. And it's interesting what they did with these two, because we thought they were just going to kind of be like two bullies that maybe, or at least I was thinking that they would be like, oh, they're going to crap talk Bird, and then Bird's going to win, and he's going to be like, yeah, you guys, that's what I thought. But they actually didn't do that. They did something very different that I like it a little more than what we were thinking about that. We can see here that Bird lost. Yeah, he was unable to defeat Multi. It was close. However, Multi was going for the. I think they mentioned this. Multi was going for an over finish. However, Hell's Chain was able to smack against the edge of the stadium and land in and lose by spin finish. So even though he lost, it was an improvement to some degree, which was pretty nice. And they didn't, really trash Bird or like make fun of him or anything. In fact, there were some kids and some of the cafe staff and another gentleman here who were, talking with him while he was explaining something. We can even see here in the subtitles, Bird is growing up, and this was Multi talking to the two gentlemen that we showed earlier, and they were like, "Wow!" So even though he lost, he made an improvement. So at least he's moving forward and he's learning and he's getting better. And Multi was enforcing that, which was really nice to see. It was, I think it made this episode. It's not like Bird lost and they're like, oh, haha, Bird lost again, he sucks, even with a new Bay. It's like, he lost, but he did better than he did before. There's improvement there, and that's what we want to celebrate. I think that's also, it kind of ties into like the episode moral, because they mentioned earlier about bad PR and like what that does if Bird was to like go in, kind of like fight a serious match and lose, and it's like, oh, this guy is trash. But it's like Multi set it up where they were running a test battle, and they were showing the public, and they showed Bird actually improving versus all of his other public matches where he just kind of sucks and loses every time. So it's cool how they spun that for this episode. I liked that a lot.
It was a good contrast because the first frame, or the first part after the intro, I want to say, was as soon as the episode started, was Bird getting one-shotted by Rhino Horn. And so it was like, yeah, that battle was just over and done with, and now this one was a lot better because, once again, it was just a chill battle that we could actually, Bird could take his time and focus, and he wasn't worried about impressing a whole stadium or losing his first professional debut. And they did very well with this episode, showing that Bird does have fans and people are starting to respect him. They're finally turning Bird's persona around, that he actually is a person and not a punching bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It's definitely, it's so cool to see that, and I think they really pushed Bird's character in this episode, and we're definitely both very happy to see him moving forward and not just kind of always being stuck in the back for being the team leader, supposedly. So it's definitely, it's wholesome. It's wholesome. And then, of course, we've got some more Common X funniness. And you can see here that he was upset that he didn't get to battle, and he's like sitting on the floor, and he's like, oh, but I wanted to play too. Kind of reminds me of Jinga and Metal Masters when they were doing the selection tournament for the World Championships. And Jinga didn't get to battle because he won Battle Bladers, so he was the national champ, and they're like, well, no need for him to fight. He'll be a regular because he won. He's the best in the nation. And then he bursts into his dad's office, and his dad is the head of the WBBA. And he's like, no, Dad, why didn't you let me battle too? And then, like, when the battle is, like, going on, Jinga, for whatever reason, is still in the office, and he's, like, just playing with Pegasus, just going around, like, around, like, one of the legs of, like, a random stool on the ground. And he's just like, it's really no fun Beyblading alone. And it's like, dude, your dad and Hikaru are right there. They both have Beyblades. Why not just go outside and have a battle with them? But anyways, that kind of reminds me of that. But it's always funny to see Common just kind of, being emotional. You can always tell, too, what's under his mask, even when he's wearing the mask. He's so expressive. I love it.
They do a good job once again with the emotions, especially the auras that surround some of these characters. Like when Malty gets upset, that they really exaggerate it to make you know, or when Bird's literally brain dead, that when he's brain dead. So always fun that Common is so passionate about everything he does, whether it's sushi or Beyblade, that he just doesn't want to be left out of anything now that he has actual friends that want to grow together, unlike seems like his past Bay team, that it was just kind of more professional.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I wonder if they'll show that, if they show, like, if there was a reason aside from just wanting to, work his way back up to the top. Was there, like, another thing that happened? Was he sick of the professional top tier life? Was there just, not enough of emotion for him in Team Pendragon? Because you look at Team Pendragon and the three members on it, and it's like Chroma's looking relatively serious. The girl that we haven't seen yet, that's on the team, just isn't smiling at all. And then you have Common, who's very happy and smiling and all that, and he's all jovial about it. So I wonder if we'll get like some kind of backstory or flashback fight or argument or whatever that happened. And if it's not all sunshine and rainbows, why Common X left. I think that would be a very I think it would be a good, side arc or character development that we see for Common. We can see like an insight to his past and why he's always so positive, and if that's a metaphorical mask for what he feels under that all the time. So I think that would be an interesting way to develop his character. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that in the coming weeks. But I think that'd be fun to see.
For sure.
And then I think, we got another one here. Yep, so once again, we have Ginormous Multi, who is looking down on Tiny Common. And they did this in the Toguru battle as well, where she was like giant and holding him in her palm. And now we got another one where she's just kind of like, well, you know what? I'm setting this match up for Bird and me, so you don't get to battle at all, because you're going to give it your all and you're going to beat him. And then he's just like, fine, whatever, I guess you're right. He's like, yeah, that's right, I think. I can't wait to read this sub, which it's coming out, actually. So maybe when the airing is over, we'll go back and we'll do like a marathon with subtitles, so we get like all the context. That might be a fun thing to do. Do our final thoughts on season 1 episode down the line.
For sure. That'd make a lot of sense. Watch us just completely rephrase the anime because the subtitles are correct.
Yeah, we're not going to get all the fun, goofy subtitles that we do, which I'll miss that when we get to the end. But at least we do this podcast and we take the pictures, so we'll always remember it, and I'll always be out there for people to see. And then we also get, after the battle was over, so this is what we were talking about earlier when we mentioned that this episode was very out of pocket. Because we went from, I think it was like a shot of the cafe empty to maybe a shot of Multi, and then this shot of Common, just spread eagle on the floor, just dead. And I love the design they did with this because there's no color on him. And he's just like, I didn't get to battle. It's so
sad.
Funny.
What a shame, He just sucked all the life out of him when he doesn't get to have a good baby day.
Yep, his baby day was bad, and he didn't get to battle. So sad, sad. It's always fun. And then so, now we get to probably my favorite part of the entire episode.
Literally, this was a point that we talked about, and we were like, we didn't get it. And then the fact that they just did this shot was the most unnecessary thing ever. It's great.
We complained back in, I think it was episode 3 or 4, when they did Beys Sponsor, that we didn't get the shot from the manga of Maiden stalking Team Persona because they mentioned that she did background research, which was just her following them around. So we actually get this really funny shot of Maiden tuning into the battle by hiding in some bushes, but then we see in the next shot that it was just her sitting outside of the cafe with 2 like little tree branches next to her face. And it's so funny because when they open with the other shot, when we do this shot, it's her like pulling the tree branches apart, and it's like you would think we were like, oh, she was actually hiding in the bushes, but then no, she was she was just holding the branches and actively pulling them away from her face the whole time, and that was just.
Wait, is that the reflection or no? Because there's no. She was looking at bushes through the window.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's like.
All these kids are like, what is this lady doing? Why wouldn't you just go into your own cafe? Like, I mean, it's not your own cafe, but it's not like you're scoping out the competition or anything.
Yeah, I guess Maiden really didn't want to be seen. It's like, I mean, she could have easily just, like, put her hair up and then changed her outfit and gone in to do...
Outfits? Multi's the only one that gets other outfits in anime.
No one else does. Dang.
No.
Well, I can't complain with Maiden's outfit, but... it was just so funny and just one of the best out-of-pocket moments ever. We might have to make that thumbnail. Be so funny. We'll see though. We got a lot of options for thumbnail this week. I'll leave it up to Elliot.
Oh yeah.
But it was just the out of pocket madness that we get with this anime sometimes is always just it's so funny. I gotta wonder, did the animators? I guess they didn't listen to us because I think this has been.
Yeah, no, because yeah, we can elaborate now. After we did that complete rant video, we did get a release that showed how long the anime actually takes prior to release and whatnot, and what they actually do to do that. And we've learned that a single episode takes 4 months in creation, from start to finish, supposedly. So a lot more goes into anime than we knew it was something, but I was thinking maybe a month per episode, not 4. So that's pretty insane what they do for this anime.
Mm-hmm. And the anime does look really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetically, it is very nice. And I know that we've definitely ragged on some of the decisions and some of the things that clearly show that this was rushed. But at the end of the day, it takes a while to get these things out, and we respect the animators through and through for all of the hard work that they put in, especially because the situation for them is not the greatest. And we always mention that too, that it's tough being an anime animator right now in Japan. There's a lot of, I think there's some strikes going on, or that were going on, or something like that. And then, it's just the animators that do work are put through hell to make their projects. So, major respect to all of the animators that work on this anime, because they definitely do a good job. And, with episode 9, it was good. We liked it. And major props to the animators for doing episode 9, because this one was awesome. It turned our opinions back once again. So very happy with that. And we're also getting, in the next episode, we're getting another filler episode probably, but it's actually going to be, it's not going to be slow. It's going to be pretty interesting because we didn't see this in the manga. It is going to be Drawn Dagger. We're going to get that in the next episode, and we're also going to see a battle with Team Phalanx. Now, I was unsure what we were going to see. And we get a nice picture. I forgot about that. So, the auto subs kind of really went off for whatever reason. They went off on this scene, and we were getting a picture of Drawn Dagger doing the X dash, and you can see here in the subtitles, Craftsman put so much sex into one bay. So yeah, I don't know what Multi's doing with these Beyblades, but we're gonna leave that to her and whoever else knows.
Can we really trust these auto subtitles?
Yeah.
We get proven wrong every time. There's just that one thing that just, yeah, no, I guess we can't trust it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So auto subs once again mistranslated, but it was funny nonetheless. But anyways, ignoring that, we got the Drawn Dagger bit, We got the Drawn Dagger Beyblade on the X-Line Chum, which is really cool. It looks sick. And we got this really cool, it's kind of like, what would you call it?
Getting ready to Avatar type thing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that, and it's got like a little draft around it, which is cool. I think the next episode is called Professional World. And then, but yeah, so next episode looks like it'll be cool. We're going to see Team Phalanx battle again, and we're going to see them. Maybe we're hoping that Bird fights and wins his battle, because I think Bird winning his first battle against Team Phalanx would be a really good step for his character and the development of Bird. And it would be so nice to have a meaningful win, because we said this earlier. If he had won against Multi in the promo battle, it wouldn't really. It's like he gets a new Bey and he wins, so he's just getting carried by whatever Beyblade he's using. But hopefully we see him develop his skill a little more and actually learn to compete and become competent. That would be really cool. But from the little tidbits of the episode that we did get to see here, it kind of looked like Common defeated all of them with drawn daggers, so I don't know if we're going to see multi and or bird battle at all, and if Common just kind of kills them all, which would be disappointing if that's the case, but either way, it'll be cool to see drawn dagger.
Yeah, but now, Common's not going to be left out pouting again that he finally gets his attention. So we'll see. I don't know. The depiction of drawn dagger on here doesn't look as aggressive as some of the box art we had, but it should still look pretty good.
Absolutely.
Looks more circular than jagged, but I'm looking forward to a good battle. It seems like hopefully they can keep the momentum going after this episode for us. That it doesn't go back to being just really predictable, really high climax battles that end in the same finish every time, or I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, like always.
Of course, and I mean all of our issues that we have with the anime storyline comes from the manga storyline as well. But it is interesting to see them when the manga does, get shown, and they animate that it's pretty much 1-to-1 for the most part. Sometimes they had a couple details here and there, but with like Metal Fight, there were a lot of things in the anime versus the manga that got taken out. Just a fun example, Hakuto, who is the talking dog, uses Libra, uses pre-hybrid wheel Libra in the manga, and Hakuto never Beyblades in the in the anime. And honestly, why didn't they do that? That was cool. I remember like reading that panel of the manga, and I was like, "Wait, Hakuto uses a Beyblade? What?" And it made him so much cooler. But it's pretty cool to see that the manga or the anime is following the manga pretty much 1-to-1, just about. And then of course we get our little filler episodes. So it's fun to see the progression go along for this generation, and how different it is compared to every other generation that we've had before.
But I think that's about all we got here. That we're enjoying the anime again. Little dry or whatever we had our complaints about, but we'll stay happy from now on. And if you guys made it to the end of this video or podcast, thank you very much. Once again, shout out us. We're shouting ourselves out, but I meant to say go watch our interview with NOOZLE. That we already uploaded, because that is a very good episode if you're interested into creativity in the Beyblade community. Definitely, he will make reappearances periodically or whenever. So stay tuned if you guys want to see any more interviews. We're going to have other guests come on now that we got our foot in the door with a lot of the members of the community, and we have a lot of people interested that want to line up and get on this podcast, because it just is a great time that we just get to sit here and talk and go back and forth for an hour and a half, which we enjoy. It's a fun way to just get our thoughts out. I think I mentioned before that instead of just bottling it up or trying to make a 5-10 minute video on our channels, that we can just clear our minds week by week and start fresh.
Mm-hmm. It's very refreshing for sure. I always love doing these when we record. I'm able to like just watch the anime and then immediately get it all off my chest, and don't have to worry about making videos every week updating people, which is fun. And that allows us to make more detailed videos on topics that that we want to do on our channels. I know Elliot's got his learning about all of the Plastic Gen Beys, which that series is phenomenal. Go check it out if you haven't. It's absolutely awesome. So
Thank you.
Of course, doing this podcast is always a great time, and being able to take that burden off right when we get to see it is fantastic. And of course, we get a lot of great back and forth with our theories and whatnot and our reactions. So it's always great. I believe next week we're also going to have another special guest come on, which we'll keep a secret for now. But definitely a very very communal topic. This was a big was a big thing that happened at the end of 2023. So we're definitely excited to talk about it with the mastermind behind the project, or one of them. So that's going to be a fun episode. So stay tuned for that. Next Wednesday, we're going to have that interview out, followed on Thursday by our regularly scheduled Beyblade X anime talk. So I think that is going to be it for this episode. Elliot, any other closing thoughts?
Nope. This is about to get good, guys. If you made it into episode 9, it's about to get a lot better. The community is welcoming us with open arms, and I'm really excited for the next few months of this podcast.
It's going to be awesome. So be sure, if you haven't already, go check out all our other episodes and get yourself caught up. Go check out our personal channels and all the links that we're leaving in the description down below. Be sure to go check out the interview with NOOZLE 3D. We're going to leave some links in the description for his stuff, and you can use either one of our codes, whichever you want to prefer, to get some discounts at checkout. Or we're gonna oh no, we gotta do a Bay battle to settle this.
A Bay battle over Discord.
Well, we might be
mine's still spinning.
once we get the battle pass, or once the app comes to the US, that'll be fun. Hopefully
that could be a very fun thing.
I'm really hoping that we get the when I think we've said this on the podcast before, when we get Hasbro. I don't think we got any more updates on what it is, but there I think it is more tangible that Takara Tomy is going to have people breathing down Hasbro's neck for Beyblade X's release. So, we're very much going to see accurate products in weight, feel, and performance. Now, they didn't say look, and that's something that other people have mentioned, is that, maybe they'll look different. But at the end of the day, frankly, as long as the colors are generally the same and I can battle my Takara Tomy Beyblades against my Hasbro Beyblades and there's no meta difference, that's going to be, I think, the biggest factor. So as long as we get good products again, like Hasbro has stated and like we're all hoping, I think that's all that we really want out of Hasbro for next year. And then
sounds like a plan.
And then the app, that's I almost lost that. We're hoping that they make the Beyblade X app for Hasbro worldwide compatible with Takara Tomy's app, and you can maybe some features are different. They probably won't have the Bayget, which is the gotcha feature on the Beyblade X app, where you can win prize Beyblades. I think if you log into the app and you do like challenges, you earn like points, and then you can spend those points on chances to get the rare Beyblade. I know gotcha is a very popular thing in Japan, but over here you don't necessarily see that. And with Beyblade in the US generally marketing towards a younger demographic, you wouldn't want to do that to a younger audience. But it's worth noting that, the demographic for Beyblade X has been shown that there are two. There's the younger demographic and then the older demographic. So you got like 6 to 12-year-olds as one, but then you also have late teens and early 20s to late 20s, early 30s as the other one, I think. There's an image floating around. You can look it up. And so we're hoping that Hasbro will market towards both. And we said this before too, if they do what Nintendo did with the Switch, where they clearly market it as being something for both age groups, something for older people and younger people, that'll be a very good way to market it towards everybody, and that will stay in line with Takara Tomy's vision as well, marketing Beyblade X as a sport. So we're gonna see that next year, and hopefully next year when we get the app, Elliot and I will be able to battle each other virtually on the app, which would be a lot of fun, and then also battle some of our friends who live elsewhere, like Juice, who lives in Australia. It'd be fun to get on like the Hasbro, or get on the Beyblade X app and then have Bay battles with him from across the world. So that would be a lot of fun. But I guess we'll see next year when 2024 hits and we get Hasbro over here. So until then,
Crazy.
we've been the Blade Dragons, and hopeful for the anime going forward. Next episode looks good, so we're getting excited. Another interview coming next week, so be sure to check that out and all of our other stuff, and our links in the description below. And that is going to be it from us for today. Take care, everybody.
Blade Dragons out.